Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'm joining the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team for a Mystery Envelope Challenge. And Dawn Haight sent us our mystery envelope this month, and it says, this month's Mystery Envelope Challenge is all about the good old red, white, and blue. Create a layout or card with a patriotic Americana theme, Independence Day, fireworks, picnics, reunion, military, etc. You choose. I've enclosed some papers from Hello Darlin collection, along with some enamel stars. You can use these products or something from your stash. Have fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you create. Done. So here is what we have. We have these two pattern sheets from Hello Darlin, and here's the reverse of both of those. And I have decided to work on a layout, and the left side will be based upon this sketch from page 22 of the Stampin' Up! Catalog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sketch number 8 is what I'm working with. And then I will make a companion page. So what I've decided was this pairs nicely with the Stampin' Up! Paper line called Countryside Inn. And I do not have much left of Countryside Inn. So I have 2 of these sheets that are about 5.5 by 12. And then I have scraps. Literally just some tiny pieces, a few big pieces of scraps. So what I'm going to try to do is incorporate all of these in with the Hello Darlin so that I can bust my stash and I have a lot of Hello Darlin, and incorporate some Stampin' Up! And marry them together on the same layout. So the first thing I decided to do was cut down a lot of the different patterns into squares that were 3 5/8 inches. So I cut those out. The ones that had that lighter blue from Countryside Inn just did not coordinate well enough. And so I wanted to make sure I included the patterns that were from both sides that Dawn sent us. So I set some of those and I got some out of my stash, and then I used some other Hello Darlin patterns, and my 2 favorite ones, the plaid and the fireworks, I don't know what you call it, those I tried to make sure I had 2 of each of those. And I just kept playing with the layout, trying to figure out what I was wanting, trying to figure out what would be covered up potentially. And then I got out some pieces from the Hello Darlin workshop, scrapbooking workshop, and I really liked this star page, and it had all these stars you could punch out, and I really liked those, and I thought that would make an awesome companion page. And I thought I could bring some of those stars over to the other side of the layout so that I could kind of tie the 2 pages together. And then I wanted to make sure I pulled out some pieces so that I could back some of these stars and incorporate them. So I'm bringing in my pictures and trying to decide if I can cut some of them into stars. I'm just going to back the little frames of stars, and I think I can fit a couple of them on there. So I kept playing with that. When I turned it, it just didn't work. So I kept it in this orientation. And then I figured out which pictures I wanted to include over here on the other side. So I kind of wanted that one of John and I just together, but I really like the ones with the granddaughters even better. So I went through, taped up the back and put it on the picture, and I wanted you to see this on one of them. The picture doesn't quite go all the way to the top. Can you see that hole in the top of the star? But what I did was, it's just the piece of sky that's missing from the very top of the photo. So I took a scrap piece and just inlaid it And next I'm going to have to bring in a photo, and I need to put it behind this overlay. So I'm cutting off some excess of the photo, just adding some adhesive to the back and then lining it up. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and put some scrap pieces behind some of these stars. I grabbed a couple pieces of that Countryside Inn and made sure I incorporated those over on this side of the layout as well. So sometimes you don't want a lot of something, or maybe you don't have a lot to work with, but if you use it strategically, it can work out just fine to work in your layout. So I'm adding some glue and putting it down, and this is where I realized this side probably only has a 1/4 inch border, and I left a 1/2 inch border on the other side of the layout. So I have a plan of how I'm going to correct that or incorporate it as we go on, but that'll be at the end of the video. So just keep looking, because I made them have 2 different size borders for the candy apple frame. So I was using some Close to My Heart cardstock that matched the Hello Darlin. I did use some markers from Stampin Up. I think I made it work. And so now I'm just finding all of those little die cut pieces and where I can incorporate them into my layout. So before I put these pictures down, I really think they need to pop off the page more. So the first thing I did was trim white cardstock to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the sky just sort of blended in. So I came in and cut a sapphire piece of cardstock at 4 1/8 by 6 1/8, and that worked. It was just enough to separate that sky from the white frame, and I really like how it turned out. It's just the really skinny borders and frames, but they worked. So now I'm going to add all these little star frames, or I don't know what you call it, to the layout. For some reason, my liquid glue is giving me problems today. It just was clogging up all the time. Okay, so I put these down. I decided that picture of John, I really wanted to pop up with 3D foam tape and let it stand out a little bit. And so I popped that one up, and then I put some more stars down. Some of these stars were just little ones that popped out. Most all of them were ones that popped out from the other side. Then I'm going to write my title, and it says My Firecracker. And so John's shirt says something like, "This firecracker was born on the 4th of July." So that's why I called this My Firecracker, because we always have him stand in the cornfield on the 4th of July, because we live out in the country and we always have corn around us. And so we usually go to a cornfield and take our picture, or take the family's picture, take his picture out in the cornfield. And this one, the kids weren't home. Well, my daughter was over with her kids, but my son wasn't home yet. So we have more pictures from a couple days later, but this was actually on July 4th. And the saying for the farming community is that your corn should be knee-high by the 4th of July. So John always gets his picture in the cornfield. And you may have even seen me scrapbook other birthday pictures from him before. So that's why we always stand in the cornfield. So just one of our little fun traditions. And I have pictures of him when he was really young standing in the cornfield, all different birthdays. And we even have pictures of like his mom standing in the cornfield on the 4th of July, like long before she was ever married and had kids. It's just a saying that they say around here. So that's something we always do on the 4th of July. So I'm gluing these down, putting the stars in some cute little clusters. The white stars just weren't popping up from the white side, so I had to use all of those on the left side. And then the next thing I did, the enamel stars looked off-white to me. They didn't look as white as everything else. So I'm coming in with one of my Stampin Blends, which I'm really enjoying using these, and coloring those enamel stars. And then I'll set those aside and just let them dry a little. And then I'm bringing back the cutout piece from the workshop from Hello Darlin and just tracing around those stars to make some of them pop a little bit more. So that side had some framing that I did in red, and then this side, to make up for the smaller border, I'm drawing with my white gel pen a frame around the outside of the layout. And I think by having this drawn frame and having the drawn frames around the stars kind of brings some unity between the two pages. And then I saw a cute little saying in there that said simply the best, and having the grandkids over is simply the best. So I popped that up on 3D foam tape, added my enamel dots, and there you go. And here's one more final look at my layout. Make sure you go over and check out all of the other girls from the Inspiration Collaboration Design team with the link at the end of the video. And I might be just a little bit prejudiced, but I think these granddaughters are just simply adorable. And they might be just a tad bit ornery too. Have a great day. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more crafty inspiration.